Okay, now that we've gotten a couple songs under our belt, what we really need to do now is nail home the chord cycle, because this is what's going to really separate your left hand chord progressions and make sure that you can transition really cleanly and accurately so that you can then increase tempo of the songs that you do. Because the most frustrating thing about guitar is when you first learn, you usually can't play it the way you hear the artist plays it, because it's just not a realistic expectation. So if you can really work this chord cycle the way I'm telling you to here today, you're going to really progress quickly and amaze yourself at how fast you can go. So we're going to start with our D chord, first chord in the chord cycle. Do that P sign. We're just going to land it right there. Okay. Start with that. We're going to go to A. We're just going to move our one finger over one string, bring the other two in behind it. Now we want to go back and forth between those about 4 times. Nice and slow and accurate. D to A, back to D, landing all 3 at the same time, but slow and accurate. Painfully slow if it has to be, I don't care. Okay? So now we want to go from A to E. Again, the same concept, slow and accurate. Okay? So we want to pick up all 3 in a frozen position, twist them clockwise, land like that. We're landing all 3 again at the same time, back and forth. Keeping in mind that we're taking the 3 finger and it's going between the 2nd string on the A chord and the 5th string on the E chord. Also keeping in mind that the number 1 finger is going from the 2nd fret to the 1st fret. 2nd fret on the A chord, 1st fret on the E chord. Okay? Good. Now we want to go from E to C. This is the next one in the chord cycle. So we have E. Now we're just going to stretch the number 3 finger down 1 fret, just very tiny move, and scoot the number 1 finger over to the number 2 string, and the number 2 finger pretty much just stays in the same spot. You do need to unweight it slightly in order to let the other fingers move. But it's really a tiny move. As you notice, my fingers are moving very little. Don't need to pick up my fingers at all, practically. Okay? Now what they're on the C, we want to go to a G chord from here. We're going to do our famous double hopscotch. We're going to take these 2 fingers, your 3 and your 2, keep the same exact shape, just scoot them up 1 string each to the 6th and 5th strings. Put your pinky down here for the G chord. Okay? Now this 3-2 fingering actually transfers for a lot of the chords. So it goes from C, take the 3-2, hopscotch them over for the G. Okay? Then what we want to do is be able to go back to D, which is the first chord we did. So we take our 1 finger, we put it on the 3rd string, 2nd fret, and we take the same 3-2, and we're going to just pull it back and put them on the bottom 2 strings, but keep the same shape. Okay? Now to go back and forth between the 2, we just want to move our 1 finger out of the way, which allows the 3 and 2 to move again. So we're going to take those 2 fingers, scoot them to the top 2 strings, and you can actually aim your 3 finger for the dot that's on the top of your neck here. Most guitars do have a dot there, and if you aim for that spot going back and forth between D and G, you're going to hit that G every time in the correct spot, because that's probably the hardest move that you're going to do here today. Okay, going back to D, we're going to put our 1 finger down and then take the same shape, keep it the same, bring it all the way across, back to the D chord. Okay, now the next chord in the chord cycle is the A minor. So we're going to take, again, our familiar 3-2 here. We're going to skip over the 5th string, land them both on the 2nd fret on the 4th and 3rd strings. There's our A minor right there. Okay, back to G, take our 3 and 2, aim for the dot on the side here again, put the pinky down. Going back to A minor, we're going to put our 1 finger down, 2nd string, 1st fret, bring the 3 and 2 back over. Okay. Now we want to be able to go from A minor to D7, which is a move that we would use in Yellow Submarine. Keep our 2 and 1 fingers down where they are and move our 3 finger to the 1st string, 2nd fret. Again, we're only moving this finger. We leave these 2 where they were on the A minor. So we just take it back to the 4th string and 3rd fret. Move it back down to the D7. Oh yeah. That's a real easy one. That's probably the easiest one you're going to do here. Okay, we're almost done with the chord cycle here. Now we want to go back to the regular D from a D7. So we're going to take our one finger, put it where the two finger is, but we're going to lift all three fingers as we do that so we can kind of turn them inside out, shifting slightly south, as I like to say. That takes us back to regular D. Now we want to be able to go back and forth between D and D7. So to go back to D7 from D, take our number two finger, put it where the one finger is. So it's sort of shifting up that way and that way. Okay? That one threw me a lot when I was first learning guitar. I could not figure out how to go between D and D7. It took me staring at my fingers for hours, like, oh man, okay, this is what I did. Now I know. Now I can articulate it to you guys. So check this out. Two finger back to one, shift north, back down to the D. We're going to put our two finger, excuse me, our one finger where our two finger is, this one to here, and shift south. All right, so that's the chord cycle. Now I'm just going to do it all in one swoop here. We're going to go D to A to E to C to G, back to D, back to G, to A minor, to D7, and back to D. Okay, so that's the full cycle right there. So what you want to do is you want to do back and forth about 4 times for each chord, each pair of chords, and then once you can do that a couple times through, then just do the whole thing once. Okay, and that should really get you a good head start on your left-hand fingerings and make all the songs you learn going forward much, much easier because you'll have a really good basis for your chords and a good way to accurately move between them. All right, great job.